My name is Jen Farley, and I believe that there is a rock star within all of us. So I am going on the road and talking to people who are rock stars in what they do. Today, I am in Madison, Wisconsin at Westminster Church, the home of Girls Rock Camp Madison, talking to one of the instructors, counselors, and all-around actual rock stars, Dana Perry. So,
hi, Jen.
Hi, Dana.
I'm happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you too. Gosh, we've known each other for...
It's been a few years now,
a few
at least.
Years, right?
Handful of years.
Right?
I think we first met, we shared the stage at Chick Singer Night.
We did.
You did, me and Bobby McGee, and I remember, and I was like, oh, that right there.
And I remember you did Give Me Some Reason, and I was like, ooh, that girl's voice.
That was fun.
Butter. Butter.
That was fun. That was a good time.
That was a good time.
That was like more than 5 years.
That was like maybe
7 almost.
7,
We're just like 7
yeah.
years. That's awesome.
Anyways, so I just really wanted to talk to you because you are a local musician and you are doing the thing. You are putting music out. You're a creative person and you've got a lot of different things in the fire. So I just thought it'd be really interesting to talk to you because like you are putting your music out there and
I got a lot going on, that's for sure. It's good. It feels good to have a lot going on after all we've been through. So
yes.
it feels good to be back in action, so to speak. So
good.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about how you got started in music and where that came from.
Well, I've been singing my whole life, like making music my whole life. I started singing. It's one of the first things I ever remember doing as a human. So singing, I'm sure you're probably the same, just singing forever, right?
Yep.
We smell our own. So it's very much so. So I was singing forever, and then I wanted to learn to play an instrument, and I joined band at 9 years old, and I played flute.
Oh, yeah?
So for like 2 years, I played flute, 3 years almost. And then I moved to a school where you had to choose between band and choir, and I chose choir because I didn't do that yet. And then I just fell in love. I was smitten like a kitten in a mitten with choir, and I was choir geek from then on out. Just 4 or 5 choirs, all as much as they would let me join, all through high school. And then college hit, and I was music major. I studied vocal principal. I was music ed focus, and I had a lot of problems in college, a lot of personal problems.
Yeah.
Drank a lot, and just a lot of family problems, and bad breakup, and just all kinds of stuff. So I started out strong, and then very slowly kind of teetered, and around 20 years old is when I started playing guitar as a means of like kind of helping get through some stuff. Because it's music major is great, but I was singing opera, and I was singing, and guitar just kind of offered a way to, just have a different musical outlet that I wasn't graded on, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I actually started on bass because I wanted to be a badass punk bass chick. Like I wanted like Green Day bass player was just, so I was like Green Day all day long and just like all these, and it was great and I loved it. But I had a hard time singing because I can't like play one note and sing another note. My brain just like can't do it. So I had a hard time singing and playing.
Okay, I don't know how Paul McCartney does it.
I haven't, and Sting, I've seen him and just I don't get it. So kudos to anybody that can play bass and sing at the same time because I just, for the life of me, I have such a hard time. So I really wanted to sing and I just needed something to back me to sing. So I tried piano, but they're not portable. And
no matter how many times you try.
They're just not portable. You can't push that thing to every gig. So, and then I had a hard time reading 2 lines of music at once. So I just kind of made it up. But then, just not a portable thing. So then, I landed on guitar at about 20 years old. So I was a little later than some and self-taught. I learned 3 chords and I was like, that's enough to write a song. So I started writing songs right away, because I needed to sing. And I wasn't even going to write songs. I was like, I just need to sing something. I just need to play and sing something. And I'm just going to sing and back this up so I have something to back me up while I sing. And then someone awesome will come along and write songs and play guitar and be my band. Like awesome people will come and do all that other stuff and I'll sing it. And it's funny to look back and think that that's how I started, that I just wanted to sing. And then I started writing songs and immediately it was cathartic. I was like, wow, I'm singing about myself and I'm writing about myself and this feels really good. And all of a sudden I felt like my music understood me in a way that nobody else did. So I just kept writing and writing. And then my guitar, I felt like was so simple. And I was like, I want to get this guitar better. I want to sing faster. I want to play more up tempo. So I really started focusing on guitar. And then I'd say it took about 3-4 years to really get find my style, you know.
Yeah.
And then, so it's pretty much history from that on out. I've been about 15, 16 years now.
Yeah.
So
I love it how the right music finds you. I remember being in a cover band when I was in my 20s, and that was like, oh, I'm just doing it for the money. And then it's like, well, wait a second, like then you lose this aspect of what music really means to your soul, and it sounds like you needed it at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it had always kind of been there for me, but there's something powerful about writing your own songs, about writing your own music. I didn't realize it at the time, and I know now, and now that's actually one of the main reasons I use my songwriting for, is specifically to get it out into the universe, to put that energy out there, to put the prayers out there, put the intentions out there through the song. And that's how I use my music a lot now, my songwriting anyway, is to put wishes and hopes and dreams and frustrations and just put it out there, and then, you know, kind of let things come back to me. So yeah, absolutely.
Looking at the gray skies, wondering if the show's gonna happen at all. Well, there's nothing really in my way, nothing left to do but live, and there's not much going on for gigs these days. Said, is it raining outside or am I hearing things? Should I stop now? They said it's only every now and then. We got meat in our bellies and raincoats. Plus there's not much going on for gigs these days. And if you're here, we're here. We're not going nowhere.
So, how many albums have you released as an artist?
I mean, 6, technically. 6 under my name. And then there are 2 that were under a band's name. We had one with the Shishi Trio, which had a couple of my songs on it. And then Imaginary Watermelon, we had that album, and they are all my original songs, but it went out under the band name. So, but yeah, so 6 or 7, 6.5, somewhere around there. Since about 2009, it's been about 6. So not as many as a lot of artists or songwriters. I don't write as many songs as a lot of people do. I don't know why. I think I can't ever force it, you know.
Yeah.
So I just, when they come, they come. So
Yeah, tell me about that.
I think it's just, I don't know. I think ever since I learned what happens when we write, like you could write a song about, you know, wanting French fries. And then French fries will appear on your plate. Like, you know what I mean? Like they will just, you know, you'll go later on in the day and be like, oh my God, there's French fries. Holy shit. Like you just, you know, and I feel like that's what happens with the songwriting. And once I realized, because I would listen to some of my older songs, you know, it's a long drawn out story, but like I had a big life change at 24.
Okay.
And a big, huge epiphany where I felt like it's on now. It's turned on. I got this. And I looked back and looked at some of my songs and realized how I had put out and asked for hope, I asked for love, I asked for peace, I asked for stability, I asked for self-worth. And all of a sudden here I am and I have all those things. And I didn't even realize that I had them all in me the whole time too. And I realized these songs, I had put them out and they were asking for all these things and I got them. So ever since I realized, oh my gosh, okay, this is magic. This is like magic. Mm-hmm. If I do this, this works. So ever since then, I think because I know that, when I write a song, I always, all right, what do I need right now? Like, what do I need right now?
Right.
So I think I don't always need things. And
Look, I mean, you could write like, I want $1 million, but you're not necessarily going to get that.
Yeah.
Because it's truly about that manifestation.
It's the intention. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's the deeper intention, and that's totally it. Like it's whatever that deep intention is. So I think a lot of times because of that, and because my songs have always been so healing for me, you know, there's some writers that they'll write every day and they'll pump out songs every day. But for me, I think I don't know. I really don't know why. Maybe I just wait till I need something, I guess. Maybe I just wait till I'm kind of feeling a certain way. A lot of times I'll just jam on guitar and I'll just let the guitar kind of say something, and I'll be like, how's that make me feel? I'm like, okay, well, let's put some words to this. And then I'll just kind of sit on it for like a week. And then I'll, a line or two will come to me while I'm in the car or something. I'll be like, that's a good line. I'll try it out in that song I'm working on. And like a week later, oh, I should try that line out on that song I'm working on. I don't know. It just kind of happens that way. And then sometimes I'll, one day, just less than a day, a whole song will come out and it's just perfect.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I think it's just, it kind of comes when it comes. I don't think I'm good at going, I'm going to write a song right now. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I have to let it come naturally. So
yeah. It really sounds like it's a very spiritual experience for you.
It really is. It really is. It wasn't always like that, but once I realized that I've had a lot of really, you could say, spiritual experiences with music and what the power of it, and that's why I do it now, because it's powerful. It's really magical. So I think I just let it happen. So.
Yeah. So you're an instructor at Girls Rock Camp Madison. Yeah. So that's going on right now.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience. How long have you been doing it?
My whole heart swells with love for Girls Rock Camp. This is my 9th summer. I have done every single session too. All 3 sessions every year, every single summer for the last 9 years.
Yeah.
It has been one of, I get emotional sometimes.
No, I think that's beautiful.
It's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. These kids they teach you so much. And to watch them just constantly achieve and do it and come out of their shell and just roar. We had roars today. It was great. Our drummer had this, she was really trying to nail this fill, and she finally got it.
Yeah.
The last 30 seconds of band practice, she got it. She was like, I got it! And we were all like, you got it! And the whole band just cheered and we got it, and she went, yes! And for a young girl, girls are supposed to be sweet and, sugar and spice, and to teach these girls not to be sweet, teach them, be what you are, be whatever you are. Yes! I loved it. It was so great. It's that's Girls Rock Camp in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I'd say it's no, and get it in this. Yes, that's says all of Girls Rock Camp. It's just, so it's rewarding. It's so fun and it's so good. And I wish I had something like this when I was young, man.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything like this when I was a kid. I would have loved it. It would have been life-changing,
Right.
And just to see them every year just really, and to express themselves through music. And it's fascinating because it's almost like they know that power of music too, Every year, most of the songs, not all of them, but most of them are about feeling strong. They always kind of have this, here's what's going on, here's my problem, or here's what I'm thinking on, and then the chorus comes in and they're just like, but I'm okay, or but I'm strong, or but I can do it, but it's gonna be good, and and that's powerful. They end up feeling that way by the end of the week. So how can you not love that?
Wipe
these away. I was gonna say, I'm just gonna wipe these away for a second.
There's onions being cut in this room.
Anytime someone asks me about it, I always cry. It could be at the bus stop, just in the grocery store, in line. What do you think about Girls Rock Camp?
So tell me about the album that you just released.
So the one I just did, I titled Tunes on the Battlefield because I felt like it was appropriate. There were some people that were sharing memes during all the COVID stuff. Like that meme that was going around of Will Ferrell shouting, and it's like the world's on fire, and then musicians, who wants to buy my album? Did you see that meme going around? It was great. And that was the thing during all this stuff. A lot of musicians were like, you know, we did a lot of live streams. We did a lot of, you know, I know Gin Chalk and Bottle Rockets did a few live streams. I caught a few. And, you know, but I'm sure you can agree, it's just not the same, right? No. It's just not the same as when you've got the crowd in front of you. You need that interaction, that energy exchange, that relationship, you know. And I think that, you know, for some of us, you know, I think I maybe did like a couple and that was it. And then I just kind of stepped back and I was working on the writing. And most of the songs, 9 out of 10, or 7 out of 8 were written during all the COVID stuff. And I think that that's just how it felt like, you know, it's a battlefield out there. And you know what? All wars, you know, back in the Revolutionary War, you know, they had that drummer that was keeping the beat. They had the tunes that were going, the bugle horn. They were on the battlefield in the war. Yeah. And it was essential. Music was essential to have that. That's why, you know, the Army has a band, and that's why they have the band, and because that's what music does. And I feel like, you know what? There's so many musicians that are like, I should take a step back. You know, I can't be forward right now. There's a lot of bigger problems. People are giving their money to more important organizations. There's the COVID, there's Black Lives Matter, there's me, you know, there's all these things that are just huge. And to me, I'm just like, music needs to be in there. We need music in the thick of that. Yeah. You know, that's what, especially folk music. Folk music is music of the people. It's the music in the streets of those issues. So in my mind, I'm like, we need music now more than ever, like, you know. So I think that's why I called it Tunes on the Battlefield, because I'm just like, well, all right, everything's on fire. Who wants to hear some songs? Just like, this is what I know how to do. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
So during COVID, you also, you have a company, Folky Productions, right? You and your partner, German, did these amazing live streams.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Okay, so if I can just interject and say one thing. Your live stream experience was probably the best that I've ever done.
Yeah? Like when you guys played?
When we played,
yeah,
it was,
cool.
I mean, it was, granted we were like together, and it was the first time we've been together in a long time. Yeah. But it felt so professionally done.
Cool.
And it was like an elevated live stream. Like even like famous people that are doing some of these live streams did not compare to the production value that you and German
awesome. Thanks.
did. So, and then you also did some fundraising for venues because we were all struggling. So tell me a little bit about that and where that came from.
So Folky Productions is a brainchild. German had the idea when we first went, right before we met. It's actually one of the things that brought us together about 12 years ago. He said that one thing he'd always wanted to do with his life is travel and record musicians. And I was like, oh, what a coincidence. I want to travel and make music. Let's hang out. So, you know, he had always wanted to do a free mobile recording studio. He wanted to it's free, and it's for whatever you need. It's mobile recording studio, especially if you're first starting out and you don't have anything. So that's originally what Folky Productions was, and then it kind of branched out into, well, let's do all kinds of stuff for free. Let's do live streams for free. Let's show them how to make album art for free. Let's, you know, because we just felt like money's something that stops a lot of artists. You know, well, I can't afford that. And be like, oh, well, we'll do it for you for free. Like, just, we have the gear, we have the time, you know, and we make money elsewhere, like in other ways. So we'll do this free service. So, and we haven't been super, super active. We mostly just kind of do things we want to work on. We don't have a website. We don't advertise. We don't do anything like that. Just people will randomly see Folky Productions on something. They're like, yeah, we did that because we were like, we want to do that. So then when the COVID stuff hit, you know, we were like, what are we gonna do? You know, when we have the mobile recording studio, but you know, she's kind of parked and needs some engine work, so we didn't have that around. But we're like, what can we do? And we had a couple cameras. We were like, let's do the live stream. Oh man, okay, they have this cool video switcher thing. Let's get that. And we bought that. And we're like, I don't know how to use it. Me neither. Let's look it up. Like, and that's the cool thing about Folky Productions is we're total DIY kids. Like we have no training whatsoever. We're just total DIY, and that's the spirit of it too. We're a grassroots DIY, and anything we do it ourselves, or we show you how to DIY. So that's essentially what Folky Productions does. And once we did the music or the live streams at Cargo Coffee, we were like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we could just like, I want to see all venues do this. Like, I want to watch something where I'm like seeing my favorite band on my favorite stage, even though I can't be there. I want to see them on the stage. Mm-hmm. So that's when we came out with the Virtual Venue Love Fest, and we were like, because the venues were struggling just as much as musicians. And I was like, you know what, guys? Like, I get it, musicians need music right now, but if we don't help these venues, we're not going to have places to play, man. Like, we got nowhere to play if we don't save the venues. So, you know, like, something's got to be done. So yeah, it was a day long, 8 hours. We did 9 hours long festival. We were stationed at 4 different venues, and we had a live stream team at each venue. So German and I were at Communication, and then we had a team from Audio for the Arts at Cafe Coda, as well as Burr Oak, and then we had Warm Glow Studios with help from Tony Bublitz at Boss Meadery. So we would it's like telethon style event. We had 12 bands booked.
Oh my gosh.
And it was great. It was wonderful, but I feel like selfish because like I was running around and like just checking the other venues to make sure everybody had what they needed a couple times. Mm-hmm. And I would go in and I would see all the fixins for a festival. The band's there, the sound crew's there, the video crew's there. But there's no audience.
And then it was the one thing that's missing.
And it's the only thing that's missing. And then I go to other venue and I'm like, yeah, and my friends in music mode. And I'm like, but okay, there's no audience. But that's okay. It smells like it. It smells like a festival still. You know, so then we go to the other. And then at the very end, I was like, well, let's go to Boss Meadery. And we're going to, you know, we're the producers of the festival. We're just going to go check and make sure everything's okay. Subtitled, we're going to go crash the Bosch show and catch Old Soul Society. And they were so fantastic. They were so good. And then I go and I listen to the feed through Skype and I'm like, this is great and everything, but nobody was there in the room with us. They didn't get to hear the vibes touching their skin, the electricity, the pound of the bass and the drums through the floor, you know, the shredding violin solos that are bouncing off the walls. Like, you got to get that in person, man. You got to get that live. It's just not the same. So it was a lot of fun, but it was a bummer too, because I'm just like, where's the audience? This is so fun. And thankfully, you know, we raised almost $5,000 for venues, so it was pretty good. You know, it's not as much as we wanted. We were like $75,000, but it was still good, and it worked out well. It'd be cool to try to do it in person now. We're talking about maybe trying to pull it off, and we'll see if we can pull it off in person, but we'll find out.
So you just released this album. What's next for Dana Perry Music?
I'm going on tour, actually. I'm booking a tour I'm going to shoot for February or March.
Okay.
It'll be my third-ish one. It was kind of like a half. My last tour was in March of 2020. Mm-hmm. So I was on the road when it all hit. And it's funny because at first I thought we were outrunning it because I would play a place and then like a week later the venue would close. And then I'd be like, what happened? Oh, there's this thing going on. Oh, okay. And then I would play another venue, and then a week later it would close, or 2 days later it would close. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, maybe we're outrunning it. Let's just keep going south. Like, no. And then by the time the last couple gigs got pulled. But Charleston, South Carolina, my mom lives about 20 minutes from there. And I spent some time there on the last 2 tours. Phenomenal music community down there, and just the low country. It's really awesome. I met some really cool people. Did a phenomenal songwriters retreat that was really awesome. So I'm just like, every time I go on tour for the next couple of years, I'm just going to go to the South and back before they forget me. You know, I got to keep going. Because they're like, oh yeah, you're that one girl with that one thing and doing the thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. I've got to go, but I'll be back next year. You know, so don't forget me.
And that's really like, for touring musicians, it's like those touchstones. Yeah. So having to like continuously visit these places.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
really important.
So that's the plan. I'm working on booking a tour I'm shooting for like end of February, March. End of February is my birthday, so I'm like, maybe I'll make it a birthday tour. You know, call it something like 37th time around or something, you know.
Going south during the wintertime, that's not a bad deal.
It's not. So. It's really not, though. So I'm like, that's all the more reason. Like, do I want snow for my birthday like every year? Or do I want some sun? So I might go ahead and make it for the birthday trip. So, but yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Awesome. So that's good. And how can people find your music?
I've actually really I do some social media posts, but it's soul killing.
I know.
It really is. So I'm trying to pull away from it. So I'm really been spending a lot of effort beefing up my website. So that's danaperrymusic.com.
Yep.
And then I am on the socials, and I'm posting reasonably often, just not as much as I was. So that's facebook.com/musicbydana. And then Instagram is Dana Makes Music. But if you just Google Dana Perry Music, you'll find all the stuff. So it's all out there somewhere. So, and then I'm on all the streaming things, all the stuff and things. So
Good. So I always ask every interview, what is your Rockstar theme song? So what is that song that you go to when you need that amp up? I know, right?
That is a good question. I love it when I get interviewed with a good question. That's hard.
Right.
Because I find sometimes I don't know what that song's going to be until I'm playing it. So, like, sometimes I'll be playing a show and there'll be a song coming up and I'll be like, ooh. Like, I'll start playing and I'll be like, okay, I really needed this song. And then all of a sudden that just comes out, you know? And so I'd say there's probably a couple of them. There's one song I have called Everything Is Moving. That one usually makes me feel pretty strong. There's one kind of a slower one called The Invitation that usually makes me feel pretty strong. It's a little slower, but it's about kind of taking control of your brain thing and all the things it's doing. And then, there's a newer one from the album, Tunes on the Battlefield, has been making me feel pretty good lately. So I like that one. So there's a couple. Anything that's got just a high energy, just something that I can make this face to, which is like half my music. So anything that makes me go it makes me feel pretty strong. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, great question.
I wanna feel alone, nobody but me, so I can feel connected. I wanna set me free. We gotta touch ourselves so we can touch the world. That's what it takes. But moving on is hard, so let me cry it out alone. 'Cause when it happened I was alone. I shut my eyes to everything but the pain. I gotta listen with a wide open heart. And I tell myself this is just a moment, just a story. 'Cause everything is moving and the Reaper's train is always right on time. There's so much shouting, I'm just a person. How does anybody do this? If I can't pause the movie, maybe I can direct the scenes. Oh, Madison, how I love this town. There's plenty of room to grow, and love is all around. Show me what I wanna see. Show me how it starts and ends with me. 'Cause I tell myself this is just a moment, just a story. 'Cause everything is moving and the Reaper's train is always right on time. There's so much shouting, I'm just a person. How does anybody do this? If I can't pause the movie, maybe I can direct the scenes. shouting, I'm just a person. How does anybody do this? If I can't pause the movie, maybe I can direct the scenes. If I can't pause the movie, maybe I can direct the scene.